So, the tech question.
And we're live.
Live in the art room.
Yep.
With
Techie
and me and Stevie. And this is the 5-minute tech question of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So, the tech question of the day is Raunchy emails. Raunchy spam emails.
Okay. So yeah, that's been happening actually with a lot of my clients.
Mm-hmm.
And like I thought that's like, okay, that's just something that's just weird that's going on. But what happened is one of the female clients I went to who happens to have a first name that's very similar to a male's name was mentioning that they've received the same thing.
All right, well, back up a minute. What is going on? Explain what it is before you explain that other people have been experiencing it.
Oh, well, it's adult-oriented emails that are showing up to people who aren't going to adult-oriented sites.
Right, so you haven't signed up for something.
You signed up for nothing.
Right, you're just randomly getting these raunchy spam emails in your inbox.
Correct.
Right, which makes it look to other people who pass by your device like you're doing raunchy things.
Yes. And it happens especially in Gmail for some reason.
Okay, now you can talk about your clients.
Okay.
Yes.
So the client...
this is happening to you.
Yes.
Right, okay. Now you can talk about your client.
Okay. But the client was female and had a male name.
Right, a male-sounding name.
Male-sounding name. And they did research themselves, I guess, with the government to try to figure out what is going on here.
Right, why they were getting these emails.
Right, so I didn't even know the answer. I just, went and said, that's the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But they mentioned something really fascinating that I didn't even realize was a thing, was that if you have a male name, somehow these email systems target male names and send all this stuff hoping to phish or hoping to get somebody to click on something, especially if they're worried about, you're being charged for this program, or come see me because I'm interesting and you're in the dating world, or whatever it is. But it's just, what's really messed up is that females don't receive the same emails.
Right, I've never gotten these emails.
No.
Now, you mentioned that when you look in the emails, what do you see in the emails?
So it's like when I heard about this female that went and was mentioning that she was getting it too, it made me just sit there, and it's like normally I just ignore it and I just say, oh, that's phishing, that's spam or whatever. But I looked in and I noticed a lot of them have triggers in it that make you think that you did something wrong, and that your wife is going to get you in trouble or something like that because there's a credit card that charged for some type of service.
Right. So it's like the classic "I'm stranger on Highland, send me $1,000" thing.
Right, but in this case, it's like, thank you for your $1,000. Your escort service will be at your address, and it lists your address at 2:00 today. Right. Call if you need to cancel.
Right. So it's another one of these things to make you feel like you have to take action and send money.
Right, because because what happens is if you go and you call, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, so we can reverse the charge. Can you please give us your credit card number?
Right.
Verify the credit card number, verify the date, I didn't call any of these, but I imagine that's what they would do.
Right.
And then they're like, okay, thank you, the charge has now been reversed.
Right.
And then what will happen is you'll actually get charged.
Right.
And so it's like, I don't even know what to say about this, because it's like, I didn't even know it was a thing.
Right.
And it just started happening recently. But the thing that I was going to bring up is, when we were newly married, my wife ended up getting all this, raunchy stuff as well in the physical mail.
Right.
And so...
They don't do that anymore. At least
they don't do it to you.
Right.
Doesn't mean they aren't doing it to other new brides.
Right. Right, but that was also years ago. I mean...
That was years ago,
so
but it's the same concept. Yeah. Because what they did to her is they sent her a bunch of stamps, and were like, oh, here's free stamps.
And then they sent all kinds of things. That was just one of the things they tried.
Right, but what they did is they over-deluge you with stuff.
Yeah.
So that you would start throwing out things.
Right.
If you threw out those sets of stamps that they sent you, you would have had to pay for the stamps.
Right.
Because they sent her a bunch of stamps, and then they sent her a second bunch of stamps saying that by her accepting the first bunch of stamps and holding on to it and accepting this new package that she's now signed up for the subscription.
Right.
So we had to send all the stamps back. Thank God you didn't lick any of them or
No, they were
use
like
them.
collector stamps. But they were sending all kinds of other stuff too. Like for some reason, like we had like a couple of stacks of magazines, like catalogs. Now I was using them for art, you know, for like pictures because I'm an artist. So
Thank
like,
God they didn't
fine.
ask any of them back.
Right. It was like for different companies. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm just getting rained on with pictures right now. But it was like, it was really weird. I didn't ask for any of them, and after we moved, it stopped.
It stopped after we moved.
That was when we lived in the Boston area.
Right, when we were in the Boston area, but you were also newly married. I think it had something to do with newly married.
Yeah, well, that was even a few years.
Because some of it was really raunchy.
It
was raunchy stuff that they were sending.
Some of it was, but some of it was even a few years later. It was like, you know, shoe catalogs and like stuff like that. You know, I don't buy. I never asked for it.
So to sum it up, it seems like they target males and females two different ways.
Right. Well, we don't even know right now. Like we just don't know.
I wasn't even talking about this, but you brought it up.
We're talking about the email thing, though. Never mind. We don't even know how they target women because I'm not really getting that stuff right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. But I think that the email thing is a way of targeting both because I do see sometimes women in posts online being like, why is my husband getting this email stuff? Is he messing around?
Right. Well, it's purposely done for that.
Right.
It's purposely done
it's like
to make women question it.
Right. It's like fishing for people our age.
Right, but
because I feel like usually they kind of target an older age group, but I feel like this is something that targets like young couples.
Well, they target older age groups with more posts like your grandson is in jail right now. Send us gift cards.
Right.
But for our generation, they're targeting by going and saying, here's some adult websites, and there's an escort that's going to be showing up at 2:00.
Right.
Like all kinds of other really, really weird things where they're like, oh, I'm in your area right now.
Right.
And they'll use your personal information that can be found online to make it seem like you actually booked it.
Right. So moral of the story, if you're getting these kinds of emails, this is why.
Or if you're a female who's seeing that the male that you're with is getting...
This is what these emails are.
Right.
You know, odds are, unless you have a certain kind of husband, that he's just being targeted.
Right. Because here's the weird thing. It's only a certain email. I have like one email that's my spam email.
Yeah.
That's the only email that's getting targeted that way.
Right.
Where I go in and it's like any website I go to, I give out that email.
Yeah.
But my like business email, my other emails,
yeah,
I don't get any of that stuff. It's only the one where it's like it has my name on it.
Yeah.
Where I go and I'm like, okay, here's first name, last name.
Mm-hmm.
So they obviously,
yeah,
even though my name is not a traditional name, I don't know how they consider it male.
Right.
But...
And one more question: is there any way to get off of these lists if
No.
you're being okay?
No.
Yeah. So people are stuck with it.
People. Okay, you want the way to get off the list? Get a new email.
Right.
Like that's the.
I hope they don't go after that one.
And hope they don't go after. I mean, it's really messed. It's there's nothing you can do about it.
Right, I get it.
As far as I'm aware of.
Yeah.
There might be some company out there that does something.
Right.
Considering it, but
That's what it
is. Sorry, this is just like a really.
I know.
Crazy.
Right. So if anybody has questions for you or needs to reach you, how do they reach you?
Yeah, go to 707-267-7778 or techie-to-the-rescue.com.
That's right.
Exactly.
Alright, we're going to move on to our day.
Yeah, exactly.
This is got a lot to do.
Yeah. Bye.
Alright, so, I think that's it.
Alright.